tab anniversary or something. Netflix introduces. It is like my lord. Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nikita. If you're new here, if you're not, hi, welcome back. This video is just going to be the highly requested journal video, and in this video I'll basically be showing you guys my journal setup, how I journal, how I got into journaling, my various journals, and I'll also be answering the questions that you guys sent me while doing it. First and foremost, let me start by talking about how I got into journaling. So this is actually the first journal I ever owned. As a 5-6-year-old with no money to my name, I've written here savings 0 and spent 0, which is crazy. So this is actually something that could be considered a commonplace notebook. So if you did not know, a commonplace notebook is basically like a notebook you carry around everywhere you go. It's supposed to be a notebook that's very commonplace, so basically does not attract a lot of attention, and you basically like jot down details about the world and stuff that you're really interested in, things that intrigue you. Actually got into journaling is that I've been pretty much a writer and a reader my whole life, so journaling and writing came pretty naturally to me. I would spend like hours in my local like library, and I would be reading all sorts of books like Enid Blyton, the iconic Geronimo Stilton, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, etc, etc. And so yeah, this was my first journal, but you can write virtually about any single thing in your journal. So I guess you could also consider this a commonplace-ish notebook. Now let me talk about my journal covers. I'm not going to go very in depth with them because I feel like it's a very broad topic and it can literally be another video. And this is the cover of my journal. This is not my current journal, however. And yeah, you can literally stick any single thing you want onto a journal cover. So for example, as I mentioned earlier, I have the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, a panel from the book over here. This is when Greg wears his like mom's sunglasses to school to like seem cool, and then she comes into the class and takes it back, something like that. And at the back as well, I have the Haikyuu manga. Like I have a few volumes of it, and this was just basically cut out from their like first anniversary or something, and so I just stuck it at the back. This is basically Oikawa like playing or something, striking or whatever it's called. And yeah, it says here Oikawa is better because he is better. Anyways, this was like the first type of journal because I really went like all the way with it. Page basically has leaves of when I went to this place in India called Wayanad, and it was really raining. It was like thundering over there, and yeah, there were thunderstorms and stuff like that, and the leaves basically from the thunderstorm that dried up, they fell into our like room, and so I just stole them and I put them in this notebook. I don't think that the purpose of a journal is for it to be like aesthetic or for it to be so like, you know, it girl, that girl. I don't think that's the point of a journal. But as someone who's like extinguished 10 plus journals, I would say the point of a journal is for you to be yourself and to write and, you know, express yourself without the fear of being judged. Now I'll be telling you guys what exactly you can keep inside your journal. So I mentioned the leaves earlier. You can keep dried leaves. I see a lot of people, they keep like dead flowers and stuff like that, but that's kind of, I don't know. I kept leaves because that's the only thing I found. If I find something interesting, I will just, you know, take it and put it in my journal, but it's not necessarily a priority for me. Is a love letter that I got from some person, and so I thought it was a really like thoughtful gesture, and so I just like put it in my journal, and that's about it. So you could put letters, you could write letters yourself, and if you have no intention to send them, you could put them in your journal as like a relic of the past, or like as a relic of what, you know, you did and what you felt. Another thing you can stick in your journals are receipts. This is a receipt from my local grocery store, and it was like among the first purchases I made, I think, of the year, something like that. And so this could go both ways. You can journal also because you have some intrinsic like deep emotional value, but at the same time you can do this thing called junk journaling, where you basically just, you know, take all the junk in your house or in the room or around you, and you put it into the journal in a very aesthetically pleasing way. There are no rigid rules to journaling apart from the fact that you should have a notebook. But for me, there have also been times such as, so there's also been times in my journal where I've just like stuck things written in class, and this was when I'm like usually not focusing in Hindi period or something like that. So I just, you know, open a blank page in the textbook, and I would just be scribbling or like drawing something in there, and then I would cut it out because, you know, you could keep the books in the locker, and so I would cut it out and then I would go home and paste it in my notebook as a reminder of what happened that day. And so you could also do things like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be only you just writing. You could literally embellish every single aspect of your life onto your journal. which let me move on to my journaling system. Since I started like seriously or like journaling type of journaling, I've had these 3 notebooks that I would consider like true journals according to like Pinterest and stuff. So these are the 3 notebooks. And as you can see, each of them has like a very specific cover, and this, I've not seen anyone else do this. This is basically like annotation tabs for when you're reading a book. But for me, when I write or when I journal, I feel like I've written some of my best pieces or some of my best sentences as a writer. And so I always put these annotation tabs for me to come back to them and to reread my writing, so that the same line can be, posted or repurposed in some other sort of book, or as something a character would say. One of the portions in this cover is, if I fail, I'll fall apart. So it's ATARP over here, which is basically apart, but like letters are apart from each other in their actual order. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically like a lyric from this Marina song, and I was like heavily relating to that song in the starting of 12th grade. So this is my journal I used from June of 12th grade to December, basically June to December of last year, because I passed out this year. And so yeah, I was like really heavily in my, academic validation craving era, as you would see through my videos. This is also like a tattoo art I found online. I think I found it on Twitter or something. I thought it was really beautiful, so I had to, obviously copy it into my journal as well. This is basically making your journal yours, and I think the best way to do that is through the colors in your journal. And so this is basically black, this is orange, and this is black. So I went like the extra step and literally colored the journal as well. I have this painted red. You could use like a paintbrush, or you could use like a Sharpie or like a sketch pen to color it. I just used paints because they were lying around and they had no use in my room. And this is one of my favorite journals because it's so filled with all the parts of me. And now the actual system is that I basically dedicate each journal in my life to specific time periods of my life. So for example, this was for the whole of 11th grade. This is for the second half of 12th grade, and I will finish this journal by the end of May 31st maximum. And after that, I'll move on to the next phase of life. So each journal represents a different phase of my life. This is called Carpe Diem, which basically is like a French phrase that says seize the day. I wasn't seizing the day in 11th grade, like a lot of ups and downs, so I had to remind myself to seize the day. The title of this journal is called Metamorphosis, and it's over here. It says Metamorphosis. It says Metamorphosis over here, because 12th grade is like a phase of metamorphosis. You're changing, you gotta enter the, you're becoming like an adult XYZ. So I called it Metamorphosis. And this one is basically called Takeoff. I don't know why I called it that. I think it was just something I was into at the time. This notebook, this is like my lore. This is my COVID-19 lockdown type of lore, because look at the condition of this. This notebook has been through a lot. This notebook has seen me like so delusional, and the songs in here are just so delusional. I used to songwrite during lockdown because I had like only a 1 hour digital access. I was in 8th grade. 8th graders should not be having so much access to the internet. So I had like only 1 hour, access to the internet. And so I would write and I would be delusional and I would be in my fantasies. And this notebook really saw like all of it. These are like pages from a notebook that I tore, and I would be writing songs in them. I have like over 500 unreleased songs, and because I can't sing, they're probably never gonna see the light of the day unless it goes to an artist or something like that, hopefully. But yeah, these are like songs I've written, stuff like that. Really good lyrics when I look back at them, but I can't sing, so. You can also journal about songs. You can literally make up song lyrics. And I used to see artists, like Japanese artists or like any other language artists. I would make up English versions to their songs. And I have so many songs with so many English versions in here. And that's a very interesting way of journaling. And it's a very interesting way of expressing your creativity. I also really liked how this has this separate divider. But obviously it's too fat to be considered a journal. This is more like a notebook for delusions. Moving on. This is another journal / planner that I used in 12th grade. As you can see, 12th grade was a very pivotal year for me. I was juggling a lot of different activities in 12th grade. So artwork is just Batman artwork. It's I copied it from Pinterest. Obviously, I'm not an artist. It says, "This is stupid and I'm going home," which is real. And then there is this entry which says, "Academic validation, more like academic depression." I was going through it. And yeah, this is original artwork, but this is all like black pen, and you can really see like the angst come out over here. And this notebook was less of a planner, it was more of just me being angsty. And this is actually artwork I made for one of my playlists called Crash and Burn, which goes to say you can draw in your journal, you can add stickers, you can do whatever. It's your journal, like you will literally make the rules. Please don't ask me what to do with your journal unless you want like inspiration. I can give that to you, but it's your journal. Ultimately, you make the rules. Just because I have so many notebooks with black covers does not mean you need to do that. You can do whatever you want with your journals. Obviously, black notebooks are superior, but you know, to each their own. And this is basically the artwork to one of my Spotify playlists called Crash and Burn. It's written over here, Crash plus Burn is a playlist created by Nikita from the comfort of her specifically curated room. The list consists of songs that are best enjoyed when listened to during an episode of disassociation. Okay, Nikita, calm down. Some random page I made when I was going through like a startup era. This is another, let me find my actual iconic page. This is another one. This is basically a schedule. This is called as the D-Day grind. Basically, when I was studying for some random comparative exam, this is like a schedule planner sort of thing. And you should use colors in your journal. It makes life a lot more like peaceful. This is another page that I created during a meeting when I was the head of social media at Girl Up Empower Her. It's like a non-profit organization for gender equality. So I was like head of social media during 11th and 12th grade, and so these are like things I took during a meeting. There was no outfit discussion, I just got inspired. And you know, whenever inspiration strikes, you need to make sure to have a journal with you. Which brings me to the question, how do I journal consistently? Very good question, very important question. I have two suggestions for this one. First, you could journal early in the morning or late at night, like before you go to bed. Although it's recommended to journal early in the morning, because if you had like a great dream, you can record the dream and you can, you know, analyze your dreams and stuff like that, which is really cool. I can't do that because I just get sleepy and I just go back to sleep and I have to continue my dream. You could take a journal with you everywhere I go, which is why I would recommend you carry something like this or like this. So it would be very easy for you to have the journal right with you so that you can literally unleash your creativity when the inspiration strikes. And that's going to be like the best thing ever, because it feels so satisfying to let the creativity out. This also brings me to the question, consistency does not mean you have to journal every single day. You don't need to journal every single day. Like, I don't journal every single day. I'm a writer, so I write every single day, but that doesn't inadvertently mean that I journal every day. I journal like whenever I feel like it. So for example, you could go through a journaling slump. Like, I haven't written in this journal like in February and March that much because I was going through like boards, and during exam time I can't find the energy to journal. Rather, I just need to rant. I think it's like less of being consistent and it's more of like how you feel. If you want to journal, you should journal. It's obviously a habit, but like it's not something that you have to force yourself to do, because like it's something, when you find that you have to force yourself to journal, it's time to take a step back, to take a break and reassess your life. Something that's supposed to help relieve the burden of your day. It's not something that's supposed to be another burden in your day. This is another one of my journal pages. It says content over here because I was the team lead of content at my school's, you know, student council. I literally forgot what I was going to say for a minute. What do I journal about apart from describing how my day was? This is a really good question. I find that when I'm in a journaling slump, I actually literally just describe my day, and it goes out like really well. I'll show you my entry. If I'm writing one thing, I get like more ideas to rant about it, to talk good about it. If you write the big themes of your life, you remember like smaller things as well. Let's say someone told you, oh, you look pretty today, so you can write about that in your journal. So as you describe your day through bullet points, you get like more ideas to like add on things. So you could connect today's events with something that happened 4 years ago, stuff like that. Feeling when you want to write but you don't know what to write about, you should do this. And even if your day was mundane, which what exactly even is mundane? Like, everyone's day is different. Your today and tomorrow are not the same. Even if your day was mundane per se, you will trust yourself that you will find something interesting to write about your day. And sometimes your entries don't have to be interesting. You don't need to have plot twists every 5 minutes. Maybe the plot twist is not having a plot twist. Boom. Literally. Do you feel the need to ponder over your journal entries? Obviously. Sometimes I won't even like ponder. I just rewrite my journal entries, like why did I feel that way. So you can look back on your situation and you can be like, oh damn, I made it this far, stuff like that. Obviously I don't reread yesterday's entries. I just, when I'm in this flow, when I'm in this zone, I just write, and I need to get everything out before it slips my mind. And I write with a sense of urgency, and that's why you'll find that my journals aren't particularly pretty. I can't call them Pinteresty journals. Let me introduce you to a few of my other journals that aren't purely for writing. There's a journal from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It's like a Wizarding World thing. Got this at a local bookstore, and this basically has the plot of my book City Lights. If you did not know, I'm writing a book called City Lights. It will be out in October or September of this year, and this book has like the lore. It has all the dirty nitty-gritty details of my book, and so yeah, this has no other writing in it apart from book ideas, book plots, concepts, characters, etc. And it should stay that way, because if I write book ideas in this journal, it's gonna be like confusing. And I do have a book idea in this journal as well, so it's hard to segregate everything into one organized space. And this is a journal that I left midway. This basically had YouTube video ideas and YouTube intro ideas, which crazily, this was a journal of 2023. It actually says 2023 planner over here, which is very funny because I did not even have a channel that time. This is the YouTube page, this is a Netflix intro, stuff like that. How to get journaling inspiration. I think all the inspiration I've given you in this video is a lot. And I have this like private Pinterest board on my private Pinterest account called watercolors. I'll attach a screen recording over here. And so I have like I get a lot of ideas from there as well. A sketchbook / journal. So here I do sketch pen sort of art. And I've mentioned that I'm not an artsy person because I'm not. And this is basically some of the things I've done. I have like a poster stuck in my room. It's called What's in Her Head, which is something I drew over here, and I just cut it and put it there. And so just the sketch pen art over here, but I would still consider it journaling because I'm writing around it. I would recommend that you guys, find your own journaling style, find your own journal type. I think the most important thing when you're journaling first is obviously what you're writing in it, but secondly, keep it in a place where it's private, it's for your eyes only. I always think it's a better idea to journal on paper compared digitally, because digital files can be seen, but you can burn paper, and that's like the most appealing aspect about journaling to me as a writer. This was literally my second take at filming, because the previous video was 40 minutes long. I think this video is only 30 minutes, so I have less footage to go through. Thankfully, I'm happier with how this video turned out. Also, I forgot to mention one more thing you can include in your journals are quotes from my favorite books. So for me, my favorite book is Looking for Alaska by John Green. 10 on 10, you should definitely read it. And I have like a few paragraphs in one of my older journals where I literally copy pasted one of my most favorite quotes into the journal as well. If you journal in phases like me, then you could obviously look back at your life in a very cohesive way. So if you write a list of movies you enjoyed, books you enjoyed, songs you were listening to, it's like a way of you preserving the details of your life as you live it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this far, and if you've made it this far, it's your moral obligation to subscribe. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.